What's going on YouTube? It is Jeff Tuffner, and this is episode 1 of the glorious, oh so glorious podcast. In this first episode, we're going to take a look at what happened at last night's Extreme Rules pay-per-view, the Monday Night Raw exclusive pay-per-view last night in Baltimore, Maryland. What happened on the show that wasn't so extreme. It was more so not extreme with many just the pay-per-view name did not fit the title. That's what we'll talk about first here, because you call the show Extreme Rules, but there was absolutely nothing, and everyone is saying that. I don't see how you could see anything extreme about the show last night. It was a pretty bad overall show. Fatal 5-way match, alright, that's exceptional. That was a decent, good wrestling match, but it wasn't an Extreme Rules match. It wasn't a tables match. It wasn't a steel cage. I mean, yeah, we did have a steel cage match, but what extreme really happened in the steel cage match? Did the steel cage match even come into play, really? Other than Jeff Hardy hitting that whisper in the wind from the top, which was pretty badass, they didn't really do anything with the steel cage. It was pretty pointless. And I mean, they're like, many people didn't even know the rules. If it was only one person who had to get out for the team, if the title, that's how you win the title. People, they were changing stuff, so it was just very confusing. There was a lot more negatives than positives to take away from last night's pay-per-view. Let's start with the way it opened. I mean, the way they start the show spits out that it's just saying there's nothing extreme. Like, you're calling the pay-per-view Extreme Rules, but the first match is Dean Ambrose defending his Intercontinental title against The Miz. But if Ambrose somehow gets disqualified, he loses the title. How does that... There's nothing extreme about that. Like, you have a guy who's, if he does something and gets disqualified, he loses the title, and it's at a pay-per-view named Extreme Rules. I mean, you could have this match, but to have this match at a pay-per-view named Extreme Rules is just absolutely ridiculous. You could have had this match last month at Payback. You could have had it on Raw, but they decided to somehow have this stipulation applied to the match at the pay-per-view named Extreme Rules. So they're just starting the show right away with the idea of, like, it not being extreme. As for the match itself, this match was brutally long. I mean, it was a solid back and forth wrestling match. I won't, you can't complain about that. But it was brutally long, I'd say. It almost felt like it was a half an hour or something. Miz ends up picking up the title. Miz, 7-time Intercontinental Champion. I'm fine with the Miz winning. I mean, I like the Miz with the Intercontinental title. I can't believe he's won the title 7 times. I mean, they need to get that title off Ambrose ASAP because he has been abysmal with that title. He has not done anything with it since he's won it back in January. I don't know what the deal is with Ambrose. He has just been on a downfall, really, since he's won the WWE Championship last summer. I mean, he was riding high, heading into last summer, winning that title. I was a big fan of him last summer. I mean, I'm still a fan of him. But, I mean, right now, it's kind of rough for where he is. I don't know what the deal is. I don't know if he needs, like, some type of character change or what. But right now, where he is, they need to get that title off him. It looks like he could be going into a possible feud with Elias Sampson. I don't know what that's going to mean. I mean, he'll probably end up putting over Elias Sampson. But they need to get that title on The Miz. And, I mean, it is rumored that Miz will be now getting into a feud with Roman Reigns for the Intercontinental title. Obviously, Roman did not win the Fatal 5-Way match last night, so that could be very much a possibility. Well, to see if that occurs tonight on Raw, if they start some type of build for that for the next pay-per-view. The next pay-per-view that is named The Great Balls of Fire. That, oh my god, the little ad, the little promo for it or whatever, oh my god. They even used the damn song. I couldn't believe they even used the song. I mean, it's one thing. I'm thinking that's where they got the idea from, the song. And then they actually used the song, Great Balls of Fire, for the pay-per-view. I mean, Vince must have been listening to that song and just, coming up with new pay-per-view names or whatever. But that's the next pay-per-view, the Great Balls of Fire. So, I mean, I don't even know if Extreme Rules felt like a pay-per-view. It didn't feel like a pay-per-view to me. It felt like a decent to good episode of Raw. There was nothing extreme about it, being that it was called Extreme Rules. So yeah, they open the show. Miz gets his title back. They get the title off Ambrose. So I mean, I'm like, yeah, Miz won the title, but the match was long. Just the stipulation was just pissing me off. I could not get over how, like, we're having this stipulation where Ambrose gets disqualified, he loses the title. It should be all out, all hell should be, allowed to break loose. It's Extreme Rules. There was nothing extreme. I'm just going to keep going on about that throughout this, this episode here. The next match we have is the mixed tag match. Sasha Banks and Rich Swann. They defeat Alicia Fox and Noam Dar. I don't know what really to say about this match. I mean, but Rich Swann did win in his hometown. I mean, other than Naomi winning back at WrestleMania in Orlando in her hometown, no one wins in their hometown in WWE. You know, Vince, never lets anyone win in their hometown. He's pretty much completely against that. So, you go to a show, the hometown person's there. You expect them to win. They're never going to win, really. I mean, so. But Rich Swann did win last night in the mixed tag match along with Sasha Banks. I have no clue where this goes from here. I mean, seeing that Austin Aries lost again, I don't know if Rich Swann's all of a sudden going to jump back maybe into the Cruiserweight title picture because Aries has lost 3 times now, so there's no way he's getting another title shot. I mean, that if he gets another title shot at the next pay-per-view at the Great Balls of Fire, that wouldn't make sense at this point. I mean, and I'm surprised what they're doing with Aries. I thought they were actually going to I thought he was the man. Maybe they would finally take the title off, but they're really building up Neville. They're really, really building up Neville. I mean, they had him beat Austin Aries 3 consecutive times on pay-per-view. So they're really building up Neville as a top guy in the Cruiserweight division. So I don't know who's going to be the guy to, take that throne away from him, but we'll have to see who it is. I mean, Rich Swann, that's who had it originally before Neville took it, so we'll see where that goes. As for Sasha Banks, I don't know if she's going to jump into the women's title picture just yet. I would expect SummerSlam to be when she gets back into the title picture. I'm hoping for an not Alicia Fox. Why was I going to say Alicia Fox? Alexa Bliss, Sasha Banks match at SummerSlam. That would be an amazing match. Everybody, you go back about 2 months, everybody wanted Bayley, Sasha Banks, and trust me, I still want it. A lot of people still want it, but the place Bayley's in right now, and we're going to talk about that just after this here, the place Bayley's in right now, it's just out of control. I mean, she is just, there's people who don't watch NXT. They saw Bayley, her main roster debut last year, the day after SummerSlam, and they were excited. They were like, why is everyone excited? Why is everyone so excited? What's this Bayley? What's the potential here? You know what I mean? And what they've seen, not watching NXT, they probably like, what was all this hype around this Bayley? Because it's just been a disaster on the main roster. And I've been hearing multiple people are saying that that WWE is gonna redo her character a little bit or something. I don't know, kind of give something. I don't know what they're gonna do. I mean, it's just another example of someone who couldn't make that transfer from NXT, the jump to the main roster. Bayley is one of them. Another perfect example would be American Alpha over on SmackDown. They're actually in the process right now of kind of redoing their whole thing or something because they were just they were so great in NXT, but they came up and it's just they were getting no reaction from the crowd at all. It was just terrible. So Bayley's getting reaction. She's she's selling merch, but just the wrestling wise, storyline wise, I gotta be honest, our promos are pretty bad. But wrestling's decent. I don't understand what the deal is, but I guess I could say the same thing for American Alpha. I guess it's just not gonna work on the main roster. So they gotta take a look. Hopefully they're able to figure out something because, like I said, you hate to see people be so talented in NXT come up to the main roster and just kind of be a disappointment. So hopefully they're able to figure out something there regarding that. And as for the match between Bayley and Alexa Bliss, that match was bad. It was quick. People say that the reason it was so quick, it was almost a punishment for just Bayley not really getting over with the crowd, that they were just going to have her lose real quick to Alexa Bliss. I actually thought Bayley wouldn't. I was saying that, with Alexa getting the upper hand past 3 weeks on Raw or whatever, usually you know how it works. Whoever gets the upper hand ends up losing at the pay-per-view, but that wasn't the case. Bayley loses in a quick match in a kendo stick on a pole match, which was, it wasn't really an extreme, it's Extreme Rules, so, I have the special stipulation here, but, they really didn't do much, but, anything. They had Bayley go up and grab it because, obviously, as you could tell, Alexa Bliss no way was reaching that, even if she was on the top rope. They had that thing, all the way up there, so they obviously had Bayley go up and grab it first. It was just a mess. I really don't even know what to say about that match. What's next for Bayley's the question. As for Alexa Bliss, like I said, I expect this feud between her and Sasha around SummerSlam, but people are saying Nia Jax, maybe Mickie James or something for the Great Balls of Fire pay-per-view that's coming up in about a month. So we'll see where that goes. We'll obviously probably find out something tonight on Raw in regards to who Alexa Bliss will face at the next pay-per-view. What else do we got here on the show? The Steel Cage match. Cesaro and Sheamus win the titles back. Hardys take the loss. It was a Steel Cage match, like I said in the beginning of the show. it was a steel cage match, but there wasn't nothing really extreme about this match. I mean, even the Hardys being in the match. Like I said, Jeff Hardy hit a whisper in the wind from the top of the cage. That was cool. That was amazing. Typical Jeff Hardy, putting it all on the line. I love that. But other than that, I mean, what was so extreme about this match? You really didn't even need the cage. I mean, I felt like they could have did a better stipulation. I mean, they could have did a tables match. They could have did something, a ladders match. I mean, they probably weren't going to do a ladders match regarding, based on them having it at Mania, just, something different. But, like, they could have did something. I mean, I just felt like this match was just bad. And then you have Cesaro and Sheamus winning, and everybody's wondering what's the deal there. Why take the titles off the Hardys? About a month ago, you would have said, maybe the Hardys are going to go broken whenever they lose the titles. But then all this stuff came out with TNA, and then, like, WWE is apparently not even interested in the broken gimmick, so it's a whole story right now. I don't know what the deal is with the Hardys. There must be something because they took the titles off them. I don't know. They're going to split up. Are they going to go broken? Could this just all be a lie, and WWE still is interested in the broken gimmick? I don't know what the deal is. They're keeping this really undercover here. So we'll have to see where this goes. A lot of it, like a Raw tonight's going to tell us a lot. Like a lot of questions will be answered tonight regarding the next pay-per-view and what's the deal, new feuds and stuff. I mean, this pay-per-view almost seemed like it was just kind of like setting up the Great Balls of Fire. Like the Great Balls of Fire is more significant than Extreme Rules. I mean, you know what I mean? We didn't even have a Universal title match. We had a number one contenders match. Normally those are for Monday Night Raw. You know what I mean? So, we're not even getting a top-tier title match on this pay-per-view, so-called pay-per-view, last night. So, this seems like it was just setting up for what will happen at the Great Balls of Fire in about a month. So, like I already discussed, Neville defeated Austin Aries. Aries was diving all over the place. He missed a drop kick from the top rope, which almost looked like he was supposed to hit it, and then Neville moved out of the way, and it wasn't supposed to happen. It was a botch or whatever. And then he had a suicide dive where he just flopped onto the ground outside the ring, right on the floor in front of the barricade. So those are both nasty landings. And then he ended up losing the match. I'm surprised, like I said earlier. I'm really surprised they haven't gave the title to Austin Aries. I guess, like I said, they're building up Neville as a really top big heel in this cruiserweight division. I really don't know who's going to be the person to take the throne away from Neville. I don't know if it's going to be Cedric Alexander. It could be Rich Swann, Jack Gallagher. I don't know who it's going to be. Maybe someone who's not even in the cruiserweight division at the moment in time. Someone, I feel like it's only going to happen eventually. Another thing with this match, the crowd was just not into it. It was decent wrestling, but the crowd was just bored as fuck during this match. They had no interest in watching this match. I don't know if I would say I don't blame them. It was a decent match from my viewpoint watching it on TV, but the crowd just did not seem like to give anything to watch this match. But like I said, decent match. As for the Fatal 5-Way, Finn Balor he didn't have his demon attire. He wasn't all painted up like he normally is on pay-per-view. I was very surprised by this because, normally every time there's a big match for Finn Balor, he's painted up in his demon attire, but he just came out basic Finn Balor with the leather jacket. That's it, like any other day on Monday Night Raw. I was very surprised by this. I don't know why, but that didn't happen. Roman Reigns, obviously, he didn't take the pin. So I knew that he was not gonna take the pin. No way Vince was gonna have Roman Reigns take the pin in this match. I didn't expect Roman to win. I was like, they're saving Roman for WrestleMania. That's already clear. So there's no way Roman's taking the pin here. They'll just kind of throw Roman off to the side. He'll just be in the match. Seth Rollins, I thought he got hurt again. I was really worried because he hit outside the ring. He jumped and he landed right on the announce table. It was shin hit the side of the announce table. It was awkward. It wasn't necessarily everything was in place. It was kind of off a little. His shin hit it. I was worried that he was something's gonna happen with his leg again. I was like, that's the last thing he needs, him getting hurt again. But he appeared to be fine. Hopefully he's good. Hopefully there's nothing late that comes up or something tonight on Raw or whatever where he is hurt. But looks like he's good to go. He did get the rest of the match out, compete the rest of the match. He was fine there. And then obviously Samoa Joe wins the match. This really surprised me. I No Joke sent out a tweet on Twitter right before the show started, Extreme Rules, saying I'd really be surprised if Joe would win, but Joe versus Lesnar would be a great match. And then Joe ends up winning the match, so I'm pumped for Brock Lesnar versus Samoa Joe. This is like a legit. This could be a heavyweight brawl at the Great Balls of Fire pay-per-view. This will be a good match if WWE makes it. It's the question. WWE could go the route that they went with Goldberg and Brock Lesnar and just have it be like a squash match that's only in 5 minutes, which please don't go that way. Please give us like a good match where these two destroy each other. And another good question I'm wondering here, who's exactly the face in this feud? I mean, Lesnar's the clear heel, but then Samoa Joe's a heel too, so I don't know if Joe's going to be turning face or maybe even Lesnar's going to be face, or it's just going to be a good heel versus heel battle. I mean, I think that's the route they'll go. It's almost just like, pick your own side, no clear face in this feud here. It's obviously suspected that it's going to be a one pay-per-view feud. It will be, obviously, I'm guessing Lesnar retains. I'd be shocked if Joe won. I mean, but a lot of people are suggesting that it could be a quick match because they don't want to really build up something between them yet. They just want to have this one-time thing, maybe go back, revisit it down the road or something. Because basically what they're doing is they're just setting up Lesnar Strowman, expecting Strowman that he'll be back in time for SummerSlam, and then they probably want to have Strowman Lesnar showdown at SummerSlam. That's basically the route they're going right now with this. So that's why a lot of people are suggesting that it could be a really quick match, which would really disappoint me. It'd be nice if we can get a good match, but it all comes down to how WWE books it. If they could easily book it good to where it's like it doesn't make Joe look like a jobber, you know what I mean? Like where he just gets beat real quick. It makes Joe come out strong but not winning the title. Make it look where where Lesnar still wins. They just got to have it booked right. They can't make it, look like Lesnar just, completely destroys Joe. So, I mean, hopefully that's the way they go. Another thing from the show, almost all the heels won. Other than Sasha Banks and Rich Swann in the mixed tag match, they were the only faces that won on this show. All heels won. It was a heel-dominant show last night, so that's just another thing to point out. I don't know if that has a huge effect. That occurs every once in a while, where either mostly faces or heels win. But heels mostly won the show last night. Like I said, the show, the Fatal 5-Way match was good. Other than the Fatal 5-Way match, I mean, Cruiserweight match, decent. Everything else was kind of just lower end of things. Under, if I was going to rate it out of 10, the show as a whole, I'm probably giving it a 5 because it just wasn't complete enough. I mean, there was just so many, it was just like they gave up on it. I feel like that's the case with WWE all the time. They give up on this stuff. They don't really go anywhere with it, and they're just like, all right, we'll move on to the next paper, and then they just keep doing the same thing. They keep giving up, and then you think they're gonna build up to something, but then the pay-per-view comes and it's just a disappointment. So I don't know. The Great Balls of Fire, I don't know. I mean, with the name of it being the Great Balls of Fire, and I mean we got Brock Lesnar's competing at it, so Brock Lesnar versus Samoa Joe. This could have potential to be something good. I don't know where they're gonna go. So hopefully it's good. That's it, guys, for this podcast. Follow me on Twitter. I'll leave the link in the description, and it's also right there on the bottom of the screen is Tuffy, Tuffy 017017. So the link is below. It's right there on the bottom of the screen as well. Follow me there. Ask me what questions or whatever there, or in the comments below. Leave a like. Hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you for a Monday Night Raw review on the glorious podcast tomorrow night.